The desert wind howled across the barren landscape, carrying with it a fine mist of sand that seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Dr. Lina Hassan, an archaeologist with a penchant for unraveling the mysteries of ancient Egypt, stood at the entrance of a newly uncovered tomb. Her team had spent months excavating the site in the Valley of Kings, but nothing could have prepared them for what lay within. The tomb's entrance was adorned with intricate carvings of the Eye of Horus, its symbols etched with such precision that they seemed to glow in the dim light of her lantern. Lina ran her fingers over the carvings, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. This was no ordinary tomb. The hieroglyphs surrounding the eye hinted at something profound, a gateway to the gods. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of ancient stone and decay. The team moved cautiously, their torches casting dancing shadows on the walls. The central chamber was dominated by a massive obelisk, its surface covered in the Eye of Horus symbols, each intricately connected by lines and curves that formed an elaborate, interwoven design. Lina's eyes widened as she examined the obelisk. "This isn't just art," she murmured, her voice barely audible. It's a formula." Her assistant, Amir, stepped closer. "A formula? For what?" "I don't know yet," Lina replied, her fingers tracing the carvings. "But look at the symmetry, the precision. This isn't decorative. It's mathematical." As the team documented the chamber, Lina worked tirelessly, sketching and photographing every inch of the obelisk. Back at the research tent, she began decoding the symbols. Days turned into weeks, and the formula started to take shape. The Eye of Horus wasn't just a symbol of protection and power. It was a complex representation of mathematical principles, ratios, angles, and variables that defied conventional understanding. One night, as Lina pored over her notes, a breakthrough struck her like lightning. The Eye of Horus wasn't a standalone equation. It was a blueprint for manipulating space-time. Each part of the eye, the brow, the iris, the teardrop, represented a different variable: time dilation, spatial coordinates, energy conversion. Together, they formed what Lina began to call the Horus Equation. She shared her findings with Amir. "If I'm right, this equation could theoretically open a gateway to somewhere else. Another dimension, another point in space-time." Amir stared at her, incredulous. "You're talking about interdimensional travel? Based on ancient Egyptian carvings?" "Think about it," Lina insisted. The ancient Egyptians were obsessed with the afterlife, with the journey of the soul. What if they weren't just talking about metaphysical journeys? What if they meant actual travel to other realms? Driven by her discovery, Lina sought funding to build a device based on the Horus Equation. Her proposal was met with skepticism and ridicule from the academic community, but a mysterious benefactor stepped forward, a reclusive billionaire named Victor Kane, who had a lifelong fascination with ancient Egypt and cutting-edge physics. Under Kane's sponsorship, Lina and her team constructed a prototype, a chamber designed to replicate the geometric and energetic principles outlined in the Horus Equation. The walls of the chamber were lined with gold, reflecting intricate carvings of the Eye of Horus, each part carefully calibrated to resonate at specific frequencies. The day of the first test arrived. Lina stood before the device, her heart racing. Amir monitored the controls, his fingers hovering over the activation panel. "Ready?" he asked. Lina nodded. "Let's do this." Amir pressed the button, and the chamber hummed to life. The carvings began to glow, and a low-frequency vibration filled the air. The energy in the room was palpable, like the build-up before a lightning strike. Suddenly, a beam of light shot from the chamber's center, forming a shimmering portal that rippled like liquid silver. The team stared in awe. Lina took a cautious step forward, her instincts battling her curiosity. She reached out a hand, and the surface of the portal felt cool and fluid. Gathering her courage, she stepped through. Lina emerged into a world that defied description. The sky was a swirling tapestry of colors, and the ground beneath her feet pulsed with a faint, rhythmic glow. Towering structures of crystalline stone rose around her, their surfaces etched with symbols similar to the Eye of Horus. As she ventured further, she encountered beings of light, their forms shifting and fluid. They radiated a sense of calm and curiosity, and though they had no discernible mouths, Lina could hear their voices in her mind. "Traveler," they said in unison, "you have unlocked the gateway. Why have you come?" Lina struggled to find words.
I
want to understand.
Who are you?
What is this place?" "We are the keepers," the beings replied. "This is the Nexus, a bridge between dimensions. The Eye of Horus was our gift to your world, a key to the infinite. But it was never meant to be used lightly. The Nexus was a realm of pure potential, where energy and consciousness intertwined. Time flowed differently here. It was both infinite and non-existent. The Keepers explained that their kind had once walked many worlds, sharing their knowledge with civilizations on the brink of enlightenment. The Eye of Horus had been one such gift, a tool to transcend physical limitations and explore the vast tapestry of existence. "But your world is not ready," the Keepers continued. "The equation requires balance. Without understanding its implications, its misuse could unravel the very fabric of your reality." As they spoke, the structures around Lina seemed to pulse with their words, each crystal resonating with the wisdom being imparted. She saw visions of ancient Egypt, priests and scholars working to decode the equation, their understanding incomplete. The portal had been sealed not out of malice, but out of necessity, to prevent catastrophic misuse. "If you seek to learn," the Keeper said, "we will guide you. But your journey comes with responsibility. The power of the Horus Equation can create or destroy. It is a tool, not a weapon." Lina felt a surge of determination. "I'll do whatever it takes. I want to learn, to understand, to use this knowledge for good." The Keeper's light intensified, and Lina felt a wave of warmth and acceptance. "Then you will return with more than answers. You will return with purpose." Back in the lab, Amir and the team anxiously awaited Lina's return. Minutes felt like hours, and just as they began to fear the worst, the portal shimmered again, and Lina stumbled out. Her eyes were wide, her expression a mix of awe and terror. "Lina, are you okay?" Amir rushed to her side. "I saw them," she whispered. "The Keepers. They warned us. The Horus Equation is more than we can comprehend. If we misuse it, we could tear the fabric of reality." Despite the warning, Victor Kane saw the portal as an opportunity for limitless power and wealth. He demanded Lina continue her work, pushing the boundaries of the technology. Lina, torn between her scientific curiosity and the moral implications, faced a choice that would shape the future of humanity. The shimmering colors of the Nexus seemed to envelop Lina, their pulsating light resonating with a rhythm she couldn't quite understand but felt deeply within. The Keepers floated around her, their forms shifting between outlines of humanoid figures and pure radiant energy. Lina's heart raced with a mixture of awe and trepidation as she listened to their telepathic voices. "If you wish to learn," one Keeper's voice echoed within her mind, "you must first unlearn the limitations of your world. Are you prepared?" Lina nodded, though doubt crept into the edges of her resolve. "I am. Teach me." The Keepers surrounded her in a glowing circle, their light intensifying. Lina felt a sudden pull, and the world around her shifted. She was no longer standing on the glowing ground of the Nexus, but floating in a void of swirling energy, filled with patterns of geometric shapes and spiraling light. "Your first lesson," a Keeper said, "is perception. The Horus Equation is not just a tool, it is a language that describes the fundamental fabric of existence. To wield it, you must see beyond the confines of linear thought." As the Keeper spoke, the shapes around her began to shift, forming intricate patterns that seemed to move in and out of focus. Lina tried to follow their movement, but her mind reeled at their complexity. "Stop trying to analyze," the Keeper's voice instructed. "Feel the patterns. Let them speak to you." Taking a deep breath, Lina closed her eyes and allowed herself to simply exist within the swirling chaos. Slowly, the patterns began to make sense. She didn't understand them in the conventional sense, but she felt them, their purpose and meaning resonating in her core. When she opened her eyes, the patterns coalesced into a single, unified structure, an intricate, three-dimensional version of the Eye of Horus. Good, the keeper said. You are beginning to see. Time in the Nexus was meaningless, but Lina's training felt both instantaneous and eternal. The keepers guided her through lessons in manipulating energy, understanding nonlinear time, and perceiving the interconnectedness of all things. They showed her how each component of the Horus Equation correlated with aspects of reality: light, matter, thought, and even consciousness itself. In one session, a keeper brought her to a shimmering field of energy that extended infinitely in every direction. This is the lattice, it explained, the foundation of all dimensions. Every decision, every action, every thought creates ripples here. The Horus Equation allows one to navigate the lattice, but doing so carelessly can cause destruction. Lina reached out, her hand brushing the lattice. She felt a surge of understanding, as if a million possibilities were unfolding before her. But she also felt the weight of responsibility. A wrong move here could unravel entire realities. One of the most challenging lessons was understanding the nature of time. The keepers explained that time was not a straight line but a tapestry, with threads that could be woven and unwoven. They showed her visions of her own life, moments from the past, and potential futures. You must learn to move through time without disrupting it, a keeper instructed. The equation does not grant control over time, it grants harmony with it. In one exercise, Lina found herself standing in ancient Egypt, watching as a group of priests worked on the original Eye of Horus carvings. They chanted softly, their movements deliberate and precise. Lina felt an overwhelming sense of connection to these people, as if their work was a part of her own destiny. Do not interfere, the keeper's voice reminded her. Observe, but leave no trace. As Lina's training progressed, the keepers began to share fragments of their own history. They had once been explorers, moving between dimensions to share knowledge and foster growth. But in their eagerness, they had made mistakes. Some civilizations had misused the tools they were given, causing catastrophic damage to their realities. We learned the cost of carelessness, a keeper said. The Eye of Horus was given to your world as a test. Only those who seek knowledge with pure intent can unlock its true potential. Lina felt the weight of their words. She thought of Victor Kane and his ambitions. The portal she had opened was more than a scientific achievement. It was a doorway to power that could either elevate humanity or destroy it. When her training was complete, the keepers gathered around her once more. Their light seemed brighter, their forms more defined. You have learned much, they said, but your journey is only beginning. Return to your world with our guidance. Protect the balance. And remember, the Horus Equation is not just a key to the universe, it is a key to yourself. The Nexus began to dissolve around her, and Lina felt herself being pulled back. As the familiar hum of the portal surrounded her, she took a deep breath, ready to face the challenges that awaited. Lina stumbled back into the lab, her mind buzzing with new knowledge and purpose. Amir rushed to her side, relief evident on his face. You're back. What happened? I've been trained, Lina said, her voice steady. The keepers taught me how to use the Horus Equation. But they also warned me. This technology is dangerous in the wrong hands. Amir glanced at the portal, still shimmering faintly. What now? Lina's expression hardened. We protect it. And we stop Victor Kane before he tears our reality apart. With a surge of energy, Lina was propelled back through the portal, tumbling into the chamber in Egypt where Amir and the team waited. The room was eerily silent, the shimmering light of the portal fading as she collapsed to the ground. Amir rushed to her side, but Lina was different now. Her eyes carried the weight of the infinite, her mind expanded by the knowledge of the keepers. Are you all right? Amir asked, his voice shaking. Lina nodded slowly, her thoughts racing. We have to stop. We can't let this equation fall into the wrong hands. Victor Kane, standing in the corner of the room, stepped forward with a menacing gleam in his eyes. Stop? This is just the beginning. We've unlocked the gateway to ultimate power. Think of what we could achieve. Lina shook her head. You don't understand. The equation is not about power. It's about balance. If we misuse it, we could destroy everything, Our world, our reality, the entire fabric of the universe. Kane's smile turned cold. That's a risk I'm willing to take. But Lina wasn't. She stood, drawing upon the knowledge the keepers had given her. She knew how to dismantle the portal, how to seal the equation so that it could never be used again. With Amir's help, she began working quickly, etching new symbols into the walls, reversing the energy flow that powered the chamber. Kane lunged forward, trying to stop her, but the room erupted with a brilliant flash of light as Lina completed the sequence. The portal flickered and then collapsed in on itself, leaving only silence in its wake. "You've ruined everything," Kane shouted, but Lina stood firm. "No," she said softly. "I've saved us all." As the echoes of her words faded, Lina knew her journey was far from over. She had touched the edges of a reality far greater than she had ever imagined. The Horus Equation was still out there, a gateway to infinite possibilities, but now it would be used only by those who truly understood its weight. And Lina would make sure of it, for she was no longer just an archaeologist. She was the keeper of the equation, the guardian of the balance between worlds.